Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patsun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/relationship advice, where we see karma finally came knocking. Let's begin. I had begun to suspect my wife of 7 years cheating on me with a former coworker. Am I imagining things or do I have cause to worry? What are my options? Posted by Reddit user Jousting with Windmill.
Note, my wife is a Redditor, so I am keeping the details vague as I can. I have been with my now wife for over a decade, married for 7, we have a 3-year-old child. We relocated for her job shortly after the birth of our child and have not really had much of a support system for ourselves while raising our child. My job has been virtual, so I have been able to work from home. Our work schedules are off-shifted so we can hand off childcare between the two of us while the other is at work. She has been expressing her dissatisfaction as our home life has been far from what we had envisioned with having our child. Our child is very demanding, high energy, and we have not been able to hire any caregivers or have any friends or family to watch our child, and have had pretty much no child free time. She has also had some regrets about her job, which is not what she thought it would be, and the opportunities to increase her pay has not manifested as she had envisioned. She has expressed her concerns at being financially dependent on me now that we have moved to a higher cost of living area. The other day, for the first time since we have been in a relationship, she asked if she could go see a movie by herself while I watched our child. I had no issue with that as I was already going to be doing things with our child. She comes home 7 hours later in a much happier mood than I have seen her in a while, and she tells me she enjoyed the movie. I asked if she saw a couple movies because she was gone for so long. She said no, she met up with John, a former coworker that left her work 2 months ago. At this point I felt my stomach drop out. I found that very odd, and the 7 hour was a bit of a long time to see a movie. And while in the past she had gone to the movies with friends, she never said she was going alone. I asked if meeting with John was part of her plan and she said yes. I asked why she said she was going alone and why she was gone for 7 hours. She said she did not think it mattered and they had a lot to catch up on. My brain asks, what does a coworker and you have to catch up on for 7 hours, especially if you last saw them at work 2 months ago, and I feel very uncomfortable. I told her that I feel a little uncomfortable with this because she did not tell me she intended to meet John. I feel that she was hiding the intent. She said I was being unreasonable and should not be jealous of her friend. Nothing happened, and she reminded me that the relationship she was in prior to being with me, she had been cheated on, and said that she would never cheat herself. She would end the relationship before doing anything like that to someone else. I would like to think that had she said she was going to meet up with this former coworker, I might have been okay knowing the facts up front, but I have lost the opportunity to know how I would react in truth. At this point I have let it go and tried to be normal for the last couple of days, but I cannot let it go. I only have suspicions and I am not sure if I am letting fears cloud my judgment. I am afraid to ask to see her text messages with John. Part of me thinks that if I can see how they coordinated the meeting and the tone of the texts may help me put this past me, but I am not sure. I could use some support. Tell me I am seeing things, or tell me my fears may be founded and how to go about figuring out the truth without blowing things up. Thank you.
Okay, so your wife is cheating on you and you refuse to accept it. You refuse to see that you are being gaslit. Did I miss anything, OP? Look, man, if you read these infidelity subs for as long as I have, you learn 2 things. 1, trust your instincts. Number 2, the most important one is never ever reveal your suspicions and are looking for clues. You automatically make your investigation 10 times harder. They burrow further underground. And unbelievably so, they become aggressive towards you. Fight your impulse to talk about it. Start investigating silently. You'll probably find what you're sensing to be true. And now for today's second story. My wife who cheated on me got hit by karma, and I don't know how to feel about it. Posted by Reddit user Karen Inator.
I don't know if this is the right place to write about this, but I want some insights or something from someone external. I dated this girl for a year. Some 6 months back it was the most perfect relationship I ever had. Most of it was long distance, but it was so good. The connection we had was so amazing. We had no toxicity. We spent a lot of time together online, and in short, everything was great. We had plans to move in together once her internship started in a new city. I had my relatives there, so I could also make it work. Soon she starts this job in the new town, and a friend from her university joins there too. We decided I would come once she found a place for us to stay. This friend from her college was a playboy kind of dude who used drugs and stuff a lot. She didn't like him much and told me he had a girlfriend, so it wasn't much. She slowly started avoiding me. I soon went there as I couldn't control my anxiety attacks as she wasn't responding to me like she used to and often ignored me. I find out she's cheating on me with him and also had moved in with him. She tried to lie and cover up by saying she was sexually assaulted and blackmailed, at which point I was going to beat the crap out of him, and I also had some buddies to help me with that. One leads to another and I find that everything was done willingly, and I'm left broken. She immediately ghosts me, doesn't even apologize. I tried to contact her in many ways just to get closure or something, but I am blocked everywhere. Without any choice, I finally reached her parents and told them the situation, also about the boy she had started seeing. They first seem like they understand, then later just ghosts me too. I stalked her online for some time, trying to get closure, only to see her happy with this new guy, doing everything we had planned for months. I'm left shattered. I fell into depression. I failed some of my courses, and I took a significant responsible position at my university, which I had taken due to her compulsion and support. Also, my mom had started a disease, and although it wasn't serious, everything together worsened my mental health. I was a regular gym guy bulking up, but soon I lost almost 7 kilograms in 2 weeks, not to mention the panic attacks and sleep deprivations. I went to therapy, sometimes drank, smoked pot, went out a lot, went on trips, met new people in new places, and kept myself busy. Slowly I started to heal. I thought I would never get over it. At one point, I thought of ending it, but slowly I recovered. It took me a lot of time to be happy again, maybe 4 months. But I put in the effort for that. I knew I had people who believed in me and stood by me when all this happened. I owed it to them. I casually started dating too. I had trust and self-esteem issues from the cheating, which I was slowly working on. At some point, she had contacted me, saying sorry for what she did, but again lied about a few other things. This again led to me contacting her drug addict boyfriend, and again led to me getting embarrassed and broken. I vowed I would never contact her again and started purely focusing on myself. I was getting bulked and fit, did my responsibilities at university well, got my grades decent, and had a few good hookups, which boosted my confidence back. Everything seemed to get back to normal. Deep down though, I always had that void. Also, I felt she deserved karma, but I didn't care at this point. Over the past few months, she started trying to contact me, but in subtle ways, never directly. I ignored it. But yesterday, she finally messaged me from a fake profile that she wanted to talk and needed help. In the last goodbye message I wrote to her, I told her I would help her whenever she wanted help. I wrote this when I was still in love with her. But anyway, asked her to call. She breaks down and says a lot of things. Apparently, the guy turned out to be not the person she imagined. Oh, what a surprise. He started using hard drugs and often assaulted her physically and mentally. Her family was against her, she couldn't study and started having panic attacks and stuff. This guy ignores her, manipulates her, and does what he wants. He also started using cocaine regularly and has huge mood swings where he sometimes gets aggressive with her. She adjusted to the maximum, but had reached her breaking point. She had no friends left who were ready to listen to her, as those who knew about our relationship ignored her, and the others thought she was very happy in this relationship as this guy framed it on social media like that. Her parents also weren't ready to understand, and she was basically alone and miserable. I left my frustrations out between these conversations and said these are the same things you did to me. She knew that and said she was getting the karma for what she had done to me. Part of me wanted to say you get what you deserve and cut the phone off. But I understood she was at a very low point. She had tried self-harming 2 months ago, and I didn't want to push her. Some months back, it might have been fun for me to see her present state, but seeing it now, I don't know what to feel. I know what it feels like, treated with no respect and mentally abused. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It can fuck up your life. If I didn't have my friends and family to support me back then, I might have done something stupid. Everyone might say she deserves it or whatever, but she was once a person I cared about and loved so much. It hurts me to see her like this, and part of me finds it hard to believe whatever she's saying might be true. I don't know what to do. She deserves some karma and pain, but I don't think no one deserves to be physically assaulted or abused. At one point, this guy even said to her to go die or leave if she wanted, but she is finding it hard to do so. I have read how people in toxic and abusive relationships find it hard to leave it. She had her exam now, and I said some stuff to calm her down. She asked if she could still talk with me. I said she could. But I don't know what to do or say in this situation. It's more than fucked up what she's facing, and she's scared of him. I don't intend to ever get back with her ever again, but I feel I should help her in this situation. Things might have been different if I had handled him back then, but the past is done. How to get her out of this situation, or even if I should consider helping her. TLDR, my ex, who cheated and left me for someone else, finds herself in an abusive relationship and realizes the mistake she made. I don't know if I should help her or how to get her out of the situation. Update 1. Firstly, I want to say thanks to all the replies. I have read all and understood what needs to be done. When I mentioned stalking and reaching out, I meant checking up her social media and seeing what she's up to. Even that isn't accepted behavior, I know, but my mental state right after being cheated on was bad. I never went behind her or followed her. This happened months ago and I stayed in no contact until she reached out the day before. Also, I had some distant friends who knew this guy and warned me about him back then. That's the reason I told her parents about him. I was concerned then, and it isn't a surprise what I predicted about him came to be true. Update 2. I talked with her the second day, ready to say I wanted to cut all ties, but the dude somehow got to know she contacted me and has beaten her up. I didn't believe her initially and had to see her photos to understand it's pretty fucked up. I informed her parents through a friend about the situation as I didn't want to get involved further. We talked finally and I wished her the best. I have cut all ties with her. I thank you guys for the comments, although some were a bit harsh. Sometimes when things happen in real life it's hard to make decisions easily. It's not that easy like typing in comments. But again, to all those who helped me, thanks and cheers.
Damn, OP, you let that go on for way too long. So long, in fact, that you almost ended up being a white knight. Look, everything that happened to her after her infidelity and leaving you was all her fault. The reason why everyone abandoned her was because she's a terrible person. It's okay to feel pity for what's happening to her, but it was the bed that she made for herself. If you really wanted to help her, you should have just called the police and then blocked her number instead of involving yourself again in her toxic bullshit. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.